talk shit, pump get it dope, manipulate the
Here's a lock.
For your audience must be impressed, or you're wasting your breath. For your audience must be impressed, or you're wasting your breath.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Looting through the rubble, leaving cities war-torn, still incurring war scorn. Ragged and I'm forlorn, trying to unlock this. Open with my lockpicks, punching with my second hand every time the clock ticks.
There you go.
All right, let's see if we have everything in line. Hopefully the audio is coming through. Just give us a couple of seconds, or give me a couple of seconds. Just make sure everything's coming through fine. Everything. I know it's been a while, because I had to take a break. We were busy. I see chat's already excited. Hey Chariel. Hey Dark Arts Lockpicking. Sorry to be so late again. Technical difficulties and my own stupidity. That's I think if you had to sum up DCG 201 in a nutshell, or just like hacking and it seems like our audio is working, it's always a summary of technical difficulties and our own stupidity, particularly my stupidity. So, hello everyone out there on the interwebs. Welcome to the DCG 201 live stream. What are we? Well, we were formerly known as DC 201, or more accurately, DEF CON 201. We are one of the many DEF CON groups across the United States and across the world. The DEF CON groups are these, which is what we are, a small sort of like, well, a lot of us are kind of big. I mean, like 801 and stuff like that, and 404, which is an actual DEF CON group. But we're like these small sort of hacker gatherings, meetups of makers, programmers, hackers, tinkerers, hacktivists, and stuff. And our group meets third Friday of the month in Jersey City, New Jersey, hence the 201. And we do a bunch of stuff. Our next meeting, if I remember correctly, is going to be on November 19th. So it'll be the week before, where we all in the United States are forced to see our terrible relatives and put up with their bullcrap while overstuffing on food and just voiding all of our exercises all summer because of that. So if you want to know more about us, and this is going to be the time I step away from the camera, so I apologize for this. So you're just going to see an endless void here. You could go to our website, which is at defcon201.org, which I just posted in chat. We're also all over social media. You can catch us on DEFCON 201 on Twitter, DEFCON 201 on Instagram and Facebook, and also stuff. Hi, Blacks in Cybersecurity. Great training. I saw the sponsorship stream. I've been going crazy. I'm literally right after the stream going to email you guys because I know you reached out to me a billion years ago and I've been meaning to respond back, but I've been dealing with life, so I apologize. But if you do want to check us out on social media, there's the link for it right there. The last thing, which will be probably the thing I'm going to be promoting the most, is yes, and we've extended this to the end of November now. We are still attempting to raise $600 for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. This is a subsection of hospitals across Canada and the United States, and I'm going to come back on cam after I post that link, where they support various children's hospitals and pediatric wings across the United States and Canada. And even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there's just been, kids born with certain genetic illnesses, scoliosis and things like that. Kids getting injured, kids getting sick by other diseases. Yes, there's actually other diseases out there. Who'd have thunk it? And it's also where you go to get vaccinated for those diseases. Ooh. But as I clear off my glasses here, we're trying to raise. We already got $80 so far. I mean, that doesn't seem like a lot, but on the end of November, when we're done, and we're probably going to either do another charity in December, maybe we'll extend it to December or January. All the money that's donated, let's say we still only make the $80 by the end of November, that $80 is still going to go to various pediatric hospitals to help sick kids. So if you want to donate, there's 3 different ways. One, which I believe now is active. I'm going to maybe double check later, and maybe you and chat can check. If you're on Twitch, you can go below, and there's a little widget that shows, and I actually have to exchange 2 drinks here. It's not sponsored. It's just I need to hydrate. But there's a widget at the bottom of our Twitch which allows you to donate directly through Tiltify, which is our third-party charity utility. So that way we don't touch any of the money and everything's kosher. Hello, computer. Oh, Computer Science Barbie. Holy crap, I love your streams. Dear Lord, I can't believe you're watching this. But real quick, so you can either donate through the Tiltify widget. We also have a QR code that I promise does not try to hack your phone. If you scan it, it goes to the Tiltify. It's the little T logo there, right on your phone while you're watching. Or as I just did, and I'll be doing this throughout the whole thing, stepping in from the camera and posting in chat when you don't see the whole disease, terrible, low-income wall I have behind me. So, without all that out of the way, let's get into what this show is, because we only had one Master of Unlocking last month. Yes, it was a combination of I was super busy the last 2 weeks of October, and just also certain things didn't show up in the mail that have now shown up in the mail, and I just recently started working again. So I also had to wait money to come in order to get some other stuff, hence why we're doing this episode. I'm good now. We should have smooth sailings for Master of Unlocking through the end of this year and of next year. But what is Master of Unlocking, you might want to ask? Well, in addition to our once-a-month meetings, again, our next one will be on November 19th, where we'll be meeting safely in person at Subculture in Jersey City, New Jersey, and partially live streaming it. We also use this live stream to talk about all sorts of hacker topics. G.I. Jack, which we're going to get into probably at the end of this episode, and we're going to make an announcement online, did Archvile, a Linux perspective. Occasionally we do a show called Circuit Breakers. Sometimes we have special episodes where we watch like hacker live streams or talk about a giant latest topic. And I have 2 dedicated shows. My other show, which will happen this Saturday, because it happens on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of the month, is Crypto Barons, where we look at cryptocurrency technologies as technologies and not snake oil salesmen. And oh God, so much stuff happened with cryptocurrencies and NFTs. I'm now like trying to figure out what topic I'm actually going to speak about on Saturday. But we're not there yet. Let's not talk about this show. Let's talk about this show, which is called The Master of Unlocking. This happens the first and second Saturdays, hence what's going on here. And this show is all about lock picking and lock sports. I don't know if I have it in here or not. I don't think I put it back because I am a dumb person, because right behind me is the portable lock picking kit. But essentially what we have here is, it's somewhere floating around. But basically, we look at locks. Let me just grab a random lock out here. We look at locks. We look at how they're constructed, what are their weaknesses and vulnerabilities are, and then we use various tools, some that we make ourselves, some that we buy, in order to pick or bypass these sort of locks. Hence this show. Ooh, and this one needs to be re-oiled. It's kind of rattling in there. So after only having one episode, I'm back. Yay! And I don't have COVID. I'm going to get my booster shot soon, by the way, because even though I had Delta, and not only does the booster protect from multiple different variants, including Delta, I only have one subsection of mutated antigens from Delta. This will protect all of Delta. And my job, to sort of dox myself, I work with kids. Don't make those jokes not in that way. But I work around children. I work near a school, with the school. And in the same way we're trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, as you can see above, I don't want to get kids sick. So I'm getting the booster and all that. So I'm fine now. So what we're going to be talking about is probably our favorite punching bag to talk about, and that's this company. Yes. Master Lock, the Microsoft and or Google of locks. They are everywhere. You go to a Home Depot or Lowe's like I often do, and just if you try to look for locks and they're not door locks, and even then, pretty much guaranteed over 90% of the locks are Master Locks. Master Lock is genius because they know how to put their locks in stores and in front of people. But most Master Locks, not all, and this might be one of the exceptions, but most of them have notorious terrible physical security. And I was recently at one of these. I was at a Lowe's, okay? And I'm like, what? I can come back. I have a budget now again, okay? I've now solved that. What am I going to be doing? There's things that I know I'm going to be doing later this month and definitely in December. But I'm like, it's been a month. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. People want to see the show back. What are we going to do? And I'm looking around. I can tell you what almost made in this episode. That will be a future episode. The new thing at Lowe's and Home Depot is now in America. And I don't know if this is local to us in New Jersey or the tri-state area or across the United States or what. But now they have an entire shelf at my height that has a bunch of locks that they're now calling their Pro Series. The weird part is that there's other locks that are rated 10 on the bullshit Master Lock scale, which we talked about in a previous episode. It busted that wide open. Thanks also for Lock Noob for being the original OG person of being like, wow, Master Lock's own rating system sucks ass, and is also deceitful in what they mean by their rating system. But what's weird is the Pro Series, most of them are rated between 7 and 8. There are no 9s and 10s. So you have a Pro Series that on the number is less than the highest thing at 10, but the 10 rated Master Locks, that was almost going to be an entire episode of itself. Yes, they've mastered marketing and distribution. It's the same way how when you buy a computer, pretty much 9 times out of 10 when you buy a computer that's not an Apple computer, it has Windows. That's what Master Lock does. They are everywhere, and unfortunately, which is why we have shows like this and why Tool, the open organizational lock pickers, as well as other amazing lock sporters, such as Dark Arts Lockpicking, such as Rook Knight and Prototype Lupo and S&Key, Night Owl, who's one of my mentors and things like that, is that people have this bad assumption that if you get any lock, that you are Fort Knox. And so we're out there because if you think computer security overall is bad, you should see what physical lock security is. Especially for most people. And we don't blame people because Master Lock doesn't go, oh yeah, don't get Master Lock number 3s. Literally a toddler can open it, which I've done. They don't. So that's why we're here, to light a fire under their butt in order to fix this crap. So, yes, I still want to do I don't know if I want to do it at the end of December or the beginning of January, but like shortly after New Year's, I want to do it where there's an episode I've been wanting to do all year where I just reach out to like all the lock sporters and pick makers and stuff that I know, and just everyone on the video, whether it's a pre-recorded thing or it's live. That's something I've always wanted to do, but that's not here or there. So the Pro series, where there's just a shelf of Pro locks, and I swear to God, we're gonna go back down and immediately get into this thing. I was looking, and I was like, the Pro series, and they're okay price. Like, it's a little probably too expensive for what I want to do, but it's not absurd. These are not Avis prices, okay? And I'm like, maybe I'll do that. I don't have this thing, so I can't do that one yet. I can't do this one yet because I'm waiting for, it's a bunch of stuff. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm like, I should just look down the aisle past the locks. Like, I'll look at some of the door locks because I'm going to try to do more door locks next year. And looking around, and there's this thing. Now, I've seen this before. Not only did we have one of these type of lock mechanisms, this type of lock security product that you can get. My mentor, Night Owl, actually did a video on the one that DCG 201 member Sewercell had. I know about these. Master Lock made one of these. Yes, and they are solid in terms of, like, if you try to hammer a Master Lock, especially something like this will break the hammer. Like, that's what they mean by their quality. And there are Master Locks that are a pain in the ass to get into. A lot of them are recycled designs from American locks. Ooh. But that's neither here or there. I saw this Master Lock product. And it was unique. I was like, oh, this could be a neat thing for the show. And then I saw this. And my brain, I like disassociated for 8 seconds straight. And I'm like, this is what they called this? Did they really fucking call this? You have to be fucking kidding me. This is the name they chose. Did the Free Software Foundation name this? Out of all the Master Lock products, I am convinced from what I have seen in my 3-4 plus years of doing lockpicking and about 2 years of teaching this, the worst named, not just Master Lock product, but one of the worst lock name products of all time. Like, yes, it's because Master Lock bought American locks. We've gone into that before, but thank you, Dark Arts, for giving that history lesson there. I just can't believe this was named. It's a combination of that meme, how you do, fellow kids, in all of the worst ways possible. And yes, you're going to see the name in a moment. And, like, it reeks of 60 and 70-year-old plus people, probably men, probably white men, just saying, we're also like maybe a black executive or two or some old broad on the staff, but just saying, doesn't matter sex, but the age has to be 60 or over. Maybe, depending where they are, might have been 40 or over. But just saying, who literally went, okay, what do the kids like? We have this, we're taking an old product and we're doing it. We've never done this. But we don't want to appeal to, like, this is not your grandpa's Master Lock, which, by the way, has not changed pitting since grandpa was your age. We need something that's hip with the kids. I mean, Master Lock, like most lock companies, especially Master Lock, has been really pushing in, for example, all the Bluetooth digital lock security. They've been doing dumb, hilarious shit. Seek out Lockpicking Lawyer and Bosnian Bill's videos, RIP for him. He's not dead, I mean, he's retired. May he retire in peace. For all the weird Bluetooth stuff Master Lock does, where if you think Master Lock number 3s are sad, wait till you see this shit. But this is it. This is a standard product. We're gonna get to it. I'm sorry to keep hyping this up, but it just blows my mind. And it's literally to the point where I'm shocked that they didn't call this something like the Master Lock selfie, okay? Or like the Master Lock TikTok security or something. It's that level of boomer where even other boomers cringe just looking at it. And that's why I think they had a shit ton of them. They haven't sold any of these. I literally went there Came back the following week, same amount of them, same exact ones, because I saw like how their boxes were, same nicks, cuts, and everything. They're not selling. And Master Lock's probably going to think, well, maybe younger people don't need a product like this, or maybe it's that they saw videos like that bastard Sidepocket from TCG 201 and busted it wide open. No, it's the name. We're gonna head down into this, and I'll show you the name. Okay? Yeah, like herpes lock. Like it's like wait, because you're gonna see this. So right before I do, just want to remind her again, still trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We stay to 600. Even if we don't get to 600 by the end of the month, like I've been saying, all the money goes straight to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. You send it right over to hospitals and pediatric wards to help sick kids. If you're on Twitch, you can scroll below. We have our Tiltify donation box. You can go right there while watching live stream. If you have a phone, I promise it's not a hacking thing. You can scan the QR code. And as I go over to switch this down to desk view, and we're gonna unbox this and see, even if it is secure, this is still the worst named lock product I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of bad names. I've seen like the Fort Knox lock, which is like one pin you need to manipulate and it opens, shit like that. But when I go over, I'm going to post the link again in chat. So if you're on DLive or YouTube, which hi out there, and if you also want to follow us, click that link. Also, real quick, before we get into this, let's go over those tool rules again, okay? We always do this before we get down to desk. So I'm part of the Open Organization of Lockpickers. That's called Tool. I'm a member there. Visit the New York and New Jersey stuff whenever they're not being hammered by the plague like everything else is. That's why I do this live stream. And even though this is not a Tool-sponsored stream, I'm not sponsoring it. This is not funded or presented by the Open Organization of Lockpickers. It's TOOL, T with 3 O's, L.US. I do want to go over the 2 rules because they just make way too much sense. And we always do this on the show, whether it's past episodes, this live stream, or future episodes. So 1, do not pick locks that you rely on, okay? This is the stuff you're going to have to agree with before we go to desk, okay? Besides hopefully donating even $1 or $3 to helping sick kids with the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, okay? So do not pick locks that you rely on. You have no idea how many times when I teach locks that people are like, oh man, even though I tell them this rule, I really want to try my front door, or I want to try the lock on my gym locker, or just my safe deposit box. I'm like, no. Every time you pick a lock, it weakens that lock. It's more susceptible to the techniques that you use on it, to the point where it'll become trivial. And you might risk breaking the lock. You might risk breaking your tools, because tools inevitably break. Or both will happen at the same time. Second rule, do not pick locks that you rely on. If you see this shitty product, laugh at it, but don't attempt to pick it when you see it at Lowe's or Home Depot, okay? Do not walk around, and if you see this lock, it's like, oh, I saw that Sidepocket guy, blah, blah, that's lock, blah, blah, blah. I happen to have tool for blah, blah, blah. And like, don't do that, okay? Because that's someone else's property. By going over and tampering with shit, it's like trying to tamper with shit on a car. You have just trespassed, okay? It's someone else's shit. And even if they put the shittiest lock on the planet on it, that lock, no one puts a lock there for no reason unless you're the United States military. That, they're trying to protect something, even if it's a really shitty lock. And so that helps my ass legally, that helps your ass legally, that also helps both of us ethically, and you now get prevented of cops running over and beating the shit out of you. So before we go down to table view, 1, unofficial rule, please donate to the charity. Again, I'm going to post the link. You can scan the QR code or go, if you're on Twitch, right down to the Tiltify link. But do not pick locks that you rely on. Do not pick locks that you don't own. This incredibly shitty product, as well as all of the other locks that I have shown on this show and I carry around physically to bring out to our DCG 201 meetings and when they're backup tool meetings, they're only there to learn lockpicking. I pick on them. Other people bypass and pick them, and they go directly back in the kit. I don't lock anything with them. I don't secure anything with them. That's their only purpose, is training. Okay? Do not pick locks you don't own. Do not pick locks you rely on. And please donate to the charity. All right, so while I post that link in the chat, we're going to go down to table view, and I'm going to be talking about what this product is. As they are like luggage you've seen everywhere. Yes, so Here we go down to table view. You can there's still a little window where you can see me, but now we're down at table view and you can see the drink I've been drinking. And I'm going to push this remote more out of the way. Right, master. If you have, because for example, a real fun history thing, Quickset their biddings are so incredibly loose. You can actually buy like 100 to 3,000 loophole of keys, and inevitably one of those keys open any Quickset lock they have ever made, past, present, or future, because that's how their bidding system works. That's one way to do that, but that's not here or there. Okay, so again, when people list crappy Master Lock products, and there's a lot. And by the way, here's my everyday carry. There's so many you could do. You can have Master Lock number 3s. You can have clones or older Master Lock number 3s. You have, again, with Master Lock, the warded locks. You have this giant MFer. You have, where is it in here? Well, I agree with Lock Noob as one of the worst locks that has ever been frickin' made, because there's just so many vector points for attacks. All of these you've seen on the show. Oh, and don't forget, even though I just have a visual demo of this, hold on. Actually, never mind. Yeah, here it is. Master Lock 175 with its bypass. Then you have the 876, which they corrected all the problems from the 175, but then overcorrected, so you don't even need tools to decode and open this. There are so many examples you could do for the worst things with Master Locks, okay? But even though these are all bad in their own ways, one, if you hit these with hammers, they're pretty much going to last, okay? And two, they at least have names that make sense, like there's Master Lock 1 through 5. This is a number 3. This is a clone of a number 3. This is the Master Lock Warded Lock series. Master Lock number 15, which is basically a giant Master Lock number 3 with an extra pin in it. 875 combination lock. 175, its older brother from 1979, 78, 79, or yeah, 78, 79. And it's 876X, blah, blah, blah. M176. Okay. Oh, crap. Thank you, Anthony, for donating. I believe you donated, Anthony Sherrill, you donated $20, so we're at $100. So if we get $100 more the rest of November, maybe even in December, we can hit the 600. But regardless, you have just bumped it up to 100, which means that even if we don't make any more money after this, and I really hope we do, at least $100 is going to go and be distributed to a bunch of children's hospitals that really need it, especially with children's hospitals being overwhelmed with kids that are sick from COVID and its variants. Never mind all the other stuff that kids just do when they like randomly lick light sockets and eat used gum, or just unfortunate enough to be for God to just roll the plague dice and have them born with like their ass where their head is and stuff. So you get to make a difference, man. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to be cheering you on through the entire episode. Thank you, Sharrell, and I hope I pronounced your username correctly. Maybe I'll just call you Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. But all of those Master Locks that I showed, all of them have names. Yeah, and you could also hammer them open, even though I've had weird luck with that. All have good names, okay? They're names that make sense. Master Lock number 3, Master Lock 15, M175, the 76D, all of those names. So what I'm going to present to you is what I saw in the store, which is officially known as a locking storage bag. It is a nylon, water resistant, and we might check the water resistant a bit. I'll put a bowl here and see if it works. But it's supposed to be a water resistant, possibly splash-proof resistant bag that has a lock on it so that you have to open it in order to unzip it. Yeah, no, I'll send you the links. Thank you so much, Dark Arts. And I know it's like being broke, hence me later last month, never mind everyone's mail getting screwed up. See the NJ election for the mail imbalance, which, by the way, I voted in person, wearing a mask and social distancing. That's what this is, a locking storage bag. So it has a little lock. We're going to see it. We're going to test it where you zip it. and all of that. That's not what caught my eye. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Lock has decided to be hip with the kids, okay? To call their version of the lock storage bag the Master Lock Safe Space. Just let that sink in. They actually called this the safe space. I would scream right now, but I don't want to blow out the microphone. I don't want to hurt all of your ears. As hilarious as that would sound of me just rage comedy screaming at this name. Fun fact, Marvel Comics has not been doing so well in terms of comic books. Obviously, the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe has taken over everywhere, and they have tons of merchandise and stories and their TV stuff, but they're not doing well with comics. Partly because the guy who runs Marvel Comics is a direct friend of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump doesn't even like him that much, and has been reportedly a giant, terrible, racist asshat who also underpays his employees and is incredibly cheap. Give you an example. The Inhumans TV show was his brainchild. Also, the Iron Fist TV show is his brainchild. That should say everything. And I'm not going to bring this up because I don't feel like bringing the browser up. Okay, the browsers are all taking a nap right now. But go look. One of the things, which wasn't his idea apparently, but he spearheaded at Marvel Comics, was an artist made this black male and female, African-American male and female duo superhero character. And when they decided to name them, out of all the names they could have chosen, pink and blue with Z's at the end, weird, but at least that makes sense. The polar opposites, L and R, just something, Pokemon names. In their infinite wisdom, they called these two characters Snowflake and Safe Space. And the reason apparently why, because everyone just died laughing and cried and screamed in horror. It literally united all political realms of the United States internet to, what the fuck? Why would you name these two superheroes this? And they claimed that they wanted to name these two heroes something. They were essentially, their excuse was they were trying to evolve and get up with the times with Marvel, with their comics. And so they chose the name Snowflake and Safe Space, unironically, to be literally, and I quote, more hip with the kids. And obviously, between the older adults and those hip kids, it was mocked to death. Nobody remembers they exist. Comic sales plummeted, rightfully so, and no one even remembers it because it was that bad. And that's what Master Lock just did. Because these type of bag safes have been around forever. I want to say maybe in the 60s, but definitely in the 70s. And I would say their popularity probably reached their peak in the mid-80s, like early to mid-80s for travel. Right? This is back when you could take chainsaws on as your carry-on. Now, the only way you could do that is by attaching a firearm with it. Deviant Olem has an amazing ass talk that actually fucking works. It's like a real-life cheat code. But out of all the names, Master Lock could have called this the Master Bag. It would have still sounded stupid, but at least you're like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's still memeable, but it's like a funny, fun and good humor type of memeable. They could have called this the Lock Bag. The ultra safe pouch. It still has innuendo, not the best names, but even if it was like it's not a great name, you would still either laugh about it or forget about this. But no. Master Lock decided to call this, to be hip with the kids, the safe space. Like, I guess no one told them what that name actually means, which already automatically further delegitimizes the actual sound concept of a safe space. And by the way, safe spaces in real life go back way farther. Look up the Dome of the Rock, OG safe space for Muslims. Although there's Jews, the whole conflict. See, people were even mad about safe spaces back then. I'm actually for them in certain contexts, just as a background. This is just dumb. I guess either no one told them, or my thinking, as Dark Arts keeps laughing about, with quick help, I need my safe space, that they knew this was the dumbest thing they could call this. Right here, look, it's this logo. I'm trying to think. Let's get Master Lock number 3, because just in case you don't know what the size this is a Master Lock number 3 next to the logo. It's fucking ginormous. I literally saw this like 7 feet away from me and went, no, my vision must have gotten worse as I've gotten older. Holy fuck, as I walked towards it. I scared the rest of the staff. Someone actually asked me if I was okay because they thought I had like a stroke or something. But it's all right there. Says it big on the back right here. And they call it by its actual utility name, Locking Storage Bag. And they call it the same. So either they are so out of touch and dumb that they thought this was a good idea, or, which I could give them credit for, but this is still stupid, that they knew this was the dumbest name and was like, you know what? This will piss off a bunch of lock experts and people in general, like Sidepocket from that terrible hacking group DCG 201. We're going to name this just because it's so outlandish. You will now be curious about at least looking into it, if not buying it. And of course, I bought it. It was nearly $20. Okay? I bought it just for the show. So guess what, everyone? I'm part of the problem. Okay? So if that was the case, it worked. If it wasn't, then it accidentally worked. This still is the dumbest name on the planet. And that's why I chose it for this episode, okay? So after we got through that whipping, and if anyone wants to add more humor in the comments, I love reading the comments, go right ahead. But if you actually want to stop hearing me rant and actually get into the nit and gritty of unboxing and trying to pick this open, as I always say with lurkers, keep lurking, keep learning. Particularly, you know what's the best part? Lurking and donating $1 or $5 towards the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and you can see me freak out more, including on future episodes of this show, as well as our meetings. I'm bringing this to our meeting. I'm bringing this on the 19th. It'll be sanitized and everything. So even if this actually defeats my skill level, you can still come and point and laugh at this in person. You can take selfies and tag Master Lock with it of like, I went to DCG to 1, all I got was this lousy safe space. It's actually to the point where if I can get this cheaper in bulk, I will legit give these out as joke prizes. It's like this levels of hilarious. Even if it works like advertised. This is just amazing. Thank you, Binary Badger. Yes, you're one of the big ones that helped donate for that. So thank you. So let's stop reading as you do when safe spaces are violated. That's just the rule. I don't make this up. I just live on the internet and play one on TV. Let's dissect this. So let me move this over here as a safety measure. Turn the light back on. So as you can see here, it says built high security cylinder. So we're going to test that. My theory is that this has 5 pins. I just have this feeling this lock has 5 pins. We're going to count the pins in a moment. It says safely carry cash, jewelry, and confidential documents. So I could put the P-tape in here. I could put the Donald Trump P-tape in here. I could fit Hunter Biden's laptop in here if I wanted to. Okay, that's what they want in here in the safe space. And on the back we get some more details. Built-in high security cylinder, water-resistant nylon. Doesn't say slash resistant, and I mean we could test that, but who knows. Fits standard size business card. I think they mean the identification card holder in the front. Yeah, and it says identification card included. It's a little both. It's a little column A, a little column B, because the actual boxing part is easy. Because like Master Lock, This looks impressive, but of course, it looks impressive. It's not impressive because I have these scissors. I could easily cut through all of this, but you want to see the amazing bypass technique to get this out of this like really high quality here with this ripped box. Yep, that was the unboxing. So this is the remainder of the box. So much is cut out of it because, they really wanted to feature the safe space that you can't really call this really a box. So I'm going to toss this aside not only to make more space for the safe space, but so that you don't have to look at this terrible word that they just called this product. Okay. So now that we have it here, we can see some of this. So it's a bag. You can tell it's a bag. This is like solid matte. Doesn't really have a shine, so it's more of a matte shine. Why do I say matte like I'm French? On the top, there's a little of a texture thing, and it wraps all the way around. Kind of looks like a high-tech key card you would get in the Mega Man Battle Network game. Shara says, "Put over your head, and you can talk about anything you want." Yes, that's what I could. I can block out Ben Shapiro by wearing this. Although, to be honest, Ben Shapiro is such a pissant and is so short. I'm pretty sure I could put him in this bag, and he's going to need to. Actually, you know what? We could put Tim Pool in this bag after he spent like $4,000 on medication instead of getting a free med to prevent him getting sick because he had to go to his sugar daddy, Joe Rogan, to get like billions of dollars of medicine instead of doing the smart thing. Dude wears a beanie in the summer. I don't know what to tell you. And then, of course, they have embroidered at the bottom here the Master Lock logo. I'm going to turn off the light and kind of focus it. Actually, I have to turn the light on. I'll just angle it in a certain way. Hopefully because this is the actual like shiny part here. They actually did this like, it's really nice actually. It's this like depressed in thing of the Master Lock logo. It's only there's nothing on the back. And so at the top here, and this comes like this. All the bags are like this. It's a zipper and it works. And this is the locking mechanism here. It says Master on the top, and then on the side here it says, and it's hard to read. Oh, okay, I was wrong. It's not 5 pins. 7-pin tumbler. This has 7 pins in it. We're going to count them still because, Chinese locks, for example, even though a lot of Chinese locks are better than master locks. Actually, a lot of Chinese locks clone master locks, but whatever. Like when you get cruciform locks, which is something I'm hoping to do at the end of this year. If not, it'll be early next year. You think, oh, it's 4 pins, so 4 pins on each side, so that gets to 12 pins, but they only do pins on 1 or 2 sides, so it's only 4 to 8 pins. Things like that. So we will count the pins on this, but it says here that it's a 7-pin tumbler, which might mean, because usually when there's more pins like that, that might mean there's security pins in here. I don't know if we're going to be able to take apart and repin this. I do have the repinning kit floating over there, but we could try if they allow us. And just to show you what I mean about this design here, I'll zoom out, is that when this is open, you put this zip part of the zipper in under where the lock is, so that, for laymen, they don't know how to open this, So, and I'm going to disinfect this, so don't worry. If you see this at DC201 meeting and you saw that I like fake bite it here, this is all going to be disinfected. Okay, I'll even disinfect it again on site if you're worried. It's always best if you have nothing on the back of your sack. Yes. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have opened. Actually, I should have did that as a joke. I should have unzipped this, and I had like plastic crabs in here. So it's like, Master Lock's bag is full of crabs, just like I thought. But yeah, so the main part of the lock, and you'll see this here because we're going to do it properly first, as you do on the show, just prove that this works. And I unboxed it and I didn't tinker with this. The lock holds the wide end of the zipper so that you can't grab it and unzip it. You would have to do with the zipper. Now, I haven't looked into it, but there might be techniques in order to pull this part. I'm pretty sure, again, like with most lock stuff, if you really wanted to get in this bag, you could. That's not what we're testing today. Maybe like slash this area, which seems to be more like base cloth. Don't know, but we're not testing that. We're testing the lock itself. But it holds the tab part of the zipper, and then when you unlock it, you can access the tab, and that will allow you to actually pull and unzip it. So the thing you might wonder is, every time we've taken locks apart live, on air when they're in their packaging, there's usually the key. And I was really confused by that because I did look in the back of the box and I'm like, where the hell is the key? Well, in a stroke of genius, that's why they have this zipper untagged. When you open it, inside, this is the unbagging part, there is a piece of cardboard, and it's a normal piece of cardboard. It's a piece of cardboard, and it has the keys on there. So let's use our fancy scissors and cut this. I think that knocking is from the neighbors next door because they've been weird. And now we don't need this twist die, and now I can use this and write "fuck Master Lock" on it. Fuck Master Lock safe space on it. Because even if this works, this name still pisses me off. So we have the keys here. Now I haven't actually seen the keys before. This is my first time seeing them. This is actually kind of interesting. I've never seen a Master Lock anything with these giant wide square handles for the keys. Probably saying it wrong. The keys are labeled 0990. Sorry, BM. I just did a Looney Tunes thing. BM 0660. That's on both keys. So I don't know if that's the individual number of these keys with the bitting or if that's the key type. I'm not sure. And I'm also not well versed enough to figure out if what type of keys these are, if this is like a common, like a certain type with the square, or if this is something unique to this product. Dark Arts said they're going to bring out a version of 2 with fluffy fur so people could stroke it when in their safe space. Master V2 hairy sack. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. And see, this is why I love it, because it's like, well, first of all, there's a joke here of the supposed leftist being triggered by a safe space. It's someone, but that's the thing, right? I'm making fun of this. Like most people, like in America, like honestly, I would consider myself like left of center, but I don't really know where. I'd probably like slightly left of center. In America, I might as well be like Mao Zedong communist, okay? Because it's either you're Mao Zedong communist, even if you're just like, hey, kids should eat, or like, hey, we should pay for this road. I will pay personal money for this road. You're Joseph Stalin. And then the other hand is you have to feed a baby with a gun. That's the only two things in the United States. So I just want to let you know that no matter what political alliance you are, even if it's from other countries, you can laugh at this, because this is still, even if this lock, even this 7-pin tumbler lock is amazing, and it might defeat me. That's what I'm saying. I am not bragging here. It actually could prevent someone like me just getting into intermediary lock picking. Okay, like I'm not Night Owl. I'm definitely not lockpicking lawyer, because lockpicking lawyer can just freaking My Dream of Genie nod and things open. But I do know some stuff. I also might have a bad day. Maybe my tools are wearing out. Who knows? But you can go make fun of this. Even if this lock works, this is the dumbest name Master Lock product. So let's examine the keys a bit more. This bitting is kind of fascinating. I'm going to try to focus here. This bitting is fascinating. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each of these dips correspond to a pin. And if I had to make a guess, so it seems that the first 4 or so pins are low. The back 3 pins are up. Hold on a second. Yeah, they're probably low, and the back ones are high, and the back ones are low. So, sorry, back ones are high. Wait, back ones are high. The front ones are low. Well, we're gonna find out. But basically, what I mean is that it seems that they've set the first 4 pins where you have to curve around them to get to these 3 back pins. And normally, you would have like, let's say 2 in the back low, 3 in the middle high, and like 1 or 2 low, and you do what's called a low, high, low, or high, low, high. But basically, if you do extremes in bidding, you want to design it so that that a lock picker would have to reach around, give a reach around, literally, behind the front set pins to the other, at risk of, if they've already set those front pins, if they can't reach around properly and disturb those back pins, the front ones will fall, or they might overset. And again, we have 7 pins to deal with. So to me, that means there's one of 2 things. And it could be a mix. either they expect this bitting along with the that the fact that there's 7 of them instead of master locks usually measly 4, or when they get to a 10 rating they put in 5 to be enough. Which, you know, bidding enough could defeat this. Like, it could defeat me. I've had bidding alone completely fuck me over. Or they're actually usually once you get to 6 or 7 pins, in my experience with lock stuff, especially locks that aren't doorknobs, that's when they start putting security pins. That's when they start putting in spool pins and serrated pins and all sorts of shit, which we've covered on earlier episodes of what actual security for locks are, including security with the actual how you design the pins. As Sherelle said, no matter where you are, you can feel safe mocking the safe space. Exactly. That should really be the tagline for the product. So let's try to use the product as intended here. I'm going to go in. And this is, by the way, if you look at the keyway again, I don't know if you would call this power-centric, per se. There's a little bit of a squiggle, but it still seems mostly a straight line. Like the keyway is wide enough that, to me, the squiggle doesn't seem like it's power-centric enough to block the picks. Again, I won't know until I start putting picks in there. Let's zoom out. Let's use this as intended. So I have my 7-pin key. And we're still going to count the pins. I put that in here. It's a little stiff. There we go. Usually righty, tighty, lefty. Okay, so you turn right. So it's interesting because it's usually righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, but you turn right to pop. And I noted that, first of all, this doesn't turn back in. I guess I have to depress this. But 2, it's spring-loaded, and it doesn't reverse itself. So it's key retaining and spring-loaded, so I can't pull the keys out while this thing is in open mode. So let's go zip this back up. Actually, let's put something in here. Here is a, actually, you know what would be funny? Let's have it protect one of its younger brothers. Let's grab, actually, screw master lock number 3s. Lighter and more hilarious. Let's do a master lock 120, 140. This happens to be a 140 because of the longer shackle. So, this is going to protect one of its younger brothers. So we're going to put the master lock 140 in here. And then we're going to zip this back up. This is how it's supposed to work. And this is all really new, so it's really stiff. Now, from what I understand, I have to I'm going to slide in this piece here. If I did this correctly. Am I doing this correctly? Hold on. Yeah, because it retains in there. So I put that piece in there, and I push down, and it auto-locked. Did you see how it turned like that? Once I push this down, so there's like a little depression. Just like me and other millennials, there's a little bit of depression when you look inside. And that's where this lock mechanism goes, and that's where the little key tab to pull this open goes in. So once again, I zip this almost close, and then I put that tab in where that little indent is. And then once I do, when I push down, that should hold that in there, unless I did this wrong. Because in my opinion, I could just grab this and zip out. So hold on. I'm actually going to go off cam a little bit here, so you're not seeing anything here. I'm going to more figure out how this is supposed to work. Oh, sorry, I'm done. So that little tab actually holds the metal piece on the zipper. Dark Arts says, has a warning on the back of the package bag, does not currently offer mental health services. Dark Arts, so I have to remind people that Dark Arts lockpicking is, he's awesome. And he has a great YouTube channel. Go check him out. But he's in Australia. And so to answer your question, Master Lock is an American company, and I'm in America. What do you think? You think it comes with health insurance? Mental health insurance services? No. This is America. This is America. That's what it is. Cut proof? I don't know. We could try that out later because I want to test the lock first. So turns out I was dumb. That indent in this one is actually for the metal part of the zipper. So you zip it up all the way, and then you lean the tab backwards, and then when you push down, there we go. So you saw it turn. I take the key out, And now that holds the metal piece, I can't open it. I feel like if I pull harder, I'm actually going to break the whole thing. So yeah, I can't pull this tab open no matter what I do because that is clamping that down and the neck is so narrow that I can't pull it. The only way traditionally you're supposed to be able to get in here is by getting your 7-pin key, putting it in the slot, and turning it right clockwise. That pops that tab out. And now I can zip this open. And we got our Master Lock 140 back. So, before we get into its claims of waterproof and slash proof, let's go do this lock. So we just put the Master Lock 140 back in. And let's clamp down again. We'll take the key out, prove that does work, and now we're not going to look at these keys. I am going to post the link again. We're trying to raise up until the end of November. It was originally the end of September, but now it's the end of November. For the This is America, nothing is free. Now get your ass to work for your $2 an hour minimum wage, and we expect you to buy a mansion with it. But I did post the link where you can donate for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We are trying to raise $600 for various pediatric centers and children's hospitals across the United States and Canada. There's actually a really good one that's called the Children's Specialty Hospital in New Jersey. There's 14 of them. They specifically care towards children. And by the way, the stream chat is slower than the real-time chat that I see. But when you donate, all the monies will go to, even though we'll focus on the New Jersey ones, they go to all the Children's Miracle Network Hospital program, which there's like 4,000 plus of them are. We handle this through Tiltify, meaning we don't touch any of the money. It's not like a Bitcoin scam or anything. And even if we only still have 100 by the end of November, I don't even know what month it is, the 100 we have now that people like Benton Harbor, we had an anonymous donation on Anthony Sharrell, as well as a couple of others that donated. All that money still goes to sick kids, COVID or not, across the United States and Canada. So thank you for that. And I posted the link again if you're in there on Twitch, D Live, YouTube, or Facebook. We're still trying to get the PeerTube running, so that's been a whole kit and caboodle back up and running. If you're on Twitch, we have a Tiltify widget that you can donate, and also that QR code is not a hack. You scan that with your phone, it'll go right to the donation page. Yes, it's not. Okay, I haven't seen the latest one, but yes, I do like watching him do the slash proof. Also, the other one I haven't seen yet is the one where he supposedly lost his voice. I want to hear that video. Because I'll put it this way, when I lose my voice, I sound like Neo, XIO, one of our members. I sound like an old man. I cannot imagine what lockpicking lawyer sounds like without his voice, and I hope he recovered his voice. Like, that just sucks. I had one time, when I worked in retail years ago, I lost my voice, and we were working the week of Christmas. That was not fun, but I killed it in sales. By the way, fun hint, my previous job, as opposed to this job, the only reason why I lost it is that the company went bankrupt. You know, because America. But as people hopefully donate, let's get into this. So we're going to open my everyday carry, which has been helpful for me for a billion years. We're going to get my 3 favorite tension wrenches, your bomb the keyway tension wrenches. I'm going to get the big log thick boy that goes through most things. I have another one that's the similar big width sturdiness, but just smaller handle. And then one that's like still sturdy, but slightly more thin. And then I think for this one, we're going to take out our Tron. This is the Attila hook. These are all Sparrows lockpicks, unless I say otherwise. We're going to take your typical short hook, American style short hook with a peak, and the sort of offset hybrid, which is a weird mix between a hook pick and kind of a diamond head on it. It gives it a little bit of a rounder tip. I will take out now between the worm weight rake and the triple peak. I usually find that for me when I first start stuff that the worm rake is better. And also to note for raking stuff, this has 7 pins, so I need to kinetically hit all 7 pins at the same time. So that's why I'm going to leave the snake rake in here, because even if that does work, I'm going to have to go so far front and back so fast it's going to light my hands on fire. I want to hit as many of these pins as possible. Darkheart says, no effort at all. I just missed that, so I'm going to wait till it pops up. It might work with the city rake. So I am going to take the city rake out just in case down here, and I'm actually going to move the bag up, put everything, so hopefully everyone will be able to see everything, or at least most of it on the table. Sorry about that. I keep thinking that the radius for the camera that I'm using, which is this Elmo, is bigger than it is. Just for good measure, I will take my favorite top of the keyway pry bar out. And then for the back stuff, I don't think we'll be using these, but I am going. I actually pulled everything out that I wanted. I will be pulling out the strike picks just in case we need like wide kinetic force, like it's a doorknob. I don't think they're going to work, but I will pull them out. And then for ultimate control, I have a ye old monkey paw. I don't have one with the slim handles. I have the original one with all the artwork that's designed by Locknoob. So I have two different tools that are designed by Locknoob. And I think he's making like a shim bypass one because he keeps expanding the chaos cards, which is amazing. Honestly, Sparrows needs to pay Locknoob all the money in the world because now at this point I'm convinced that third of all it's like half of all Sparrows is Wizwazzle designs and the rest of them are Locknoobs. And I'm hoping to actually submit some of my own ideas very soon, so hope for me for that. Says, yeah, we know effort at all. I think they use kids' Play-Doh knives to test out against slashing. Lock camp. So, if for some reason I get a pile of money at the last second, I will go to lock camp. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm physically going to lock camp. If that's the case, I will definitely save up money next year. I'll put it this way. If I have... My work is seasonal. So I have unemployment in the United States built into my contract. This year, unemployment royally fucked up, among other things. And I had to pay gaps and things with my existing money. So if that didn't screw up and other things didn't happen, I would have to have gone to my savings, and part of that savings was going to go to lock camp. That's why that's not happening. And it sucks because even though Texas is a big state, and also it seems like every bad thing is happening in Texas, my condolences to the victims and all the people who were hurt, injured, and killed at the Travis Scott I was at nightclub concert, that Astro World concert. I can talk about it on air. If you haven't seen it, keep running this in the background. Donate to the Children's Medical Hospital because one of these kids died, and there's tons of injured kids in just Texas alone that the Children's Miracle Hospitals are probably working on. And holy crap, that was nuts. Yes, it is in Texas, sure enough. Texas just can't get a break between the abortion laws that affect more than abortion to all of the protests, nearly freezing to death, now almost being trampled to death by an egotistical rapper and producer. Texas just can't. I mean, they have Ted Cruz, enough said. But I will put it this way. I have thought of reaching out to some of the people at Lock Camp to see if we might be able to do a minor thing. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream or what for like one of the days at Lock Camp if I'm unable to make it. And I can guarantee next year I plan on doing a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be at Vintage Computer Festival East. I'm going to be at DEF CON 30. I'm already putting money away, flight and stuff. I'm waiting for certain hotels. I want to see if QueerCon comes back in the next 2 months to book a hotel there. I plan on going back to Exotica, New Jersey, and doing all the stuff that we want to do. And I'm hoping to go either back to, or for the first time, Lock Camp next year, provided that Texas is still there as a state. So if nothing happens this year, I hope all of you folks have fun. And I'll try to do something with you guys. If not, I will be there next year. So that's my long, complicated thing for that question. Thank you for asking that, by the way. Because I want to go, but it's just, I'm limited, particularly with how this year for me was like most people's 2020. Like 2021 was my 2020 in terms of everything. Like 2020 was awful for everybody, but I was actually okay. Like I had money, I was just coasting, I was an essential worker for a while, all that. We were doing the live stream only for the meetings. This year, soon as like February, March hit, everything went to shit until all the way to present day. So yeah. Anyhow, like I say again, so I have 3 different Bob the Keyway tension wrenches. I have a Top the Keyway pry bar here. I have all 3 hooks by normal short hook, my offset hybrid, and my Attila Tron, which has a little bit of low reach, especially since we're gonna have to reach around certain things. I don't have a medium hook yet. I'm gonna add that soon. I do have one that's 15,000ths of an inch, but I don't want to use it on this because this is so stiff. I'm afraid of breaking that. I have the worm because to me, I've had more success with the worm between the worm and the triple peak. And if you want to know there's a difference, you can actually take it out. It's the same design as the triple peak. The only real difference between, and this is the main, that's why it's called that, between the triple peak on the left and the worm on the right is that the worm has curved bumps while the triple peak has harder, sharper bumps. And I always go for the worm first. If that doesn't work, then I try the triple peak. That's just for me. Might work on the city rate because while the bidding is sort of a low and then a high in the back, even though it's not a high, low, high or a low, high, low, still has variance bidding. The city rake still might confuse it enough to work. For control picking, I have my notch pick that's inside my lock noobs called the monkey's pot sparrows. And then even though I don't think it'll work and it is kind of chipping a bit, I did take out the scarab strike picks with its two different sinusoid and solenoid. I hope I pronounced those right. Frequencies to see if maybe the keyway seems to be wide enough that we can zip this open. So here we go. I'm going to take a sip here, and I'm going to put the link once again in chat for all you out there on Twitch, D Live, and YouTube, where you can go donate to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. And after me bitching about the safe space, as well as us unboxing it and unbagging it, and then setting the tools out, we're now going to get into what you are all here for. And this is going to be kind of weird and interesting because I think I'm going to have to go at it like this because when I stand the bag up, I have like no space. It's kind of too close to the camera. So I'm going to do a focus so everyone can see it there. And the first thing that we're going to do is what I taught before on this the previous episodes. I'm going to take the flat side tool with a very flat side. In this case, this is going to be the city rake. So all the pins are up. I'm going to put the flat side towards the top of the pins. We're going to go all the way in there in the back. See, that I just proved this. This keyway, even though they made it like it looks like a sharp S-centric paracentric keyway, but it's actually so sharp with the curves, and the keyway itself is so wide enough that this might as well just be an open quickset or Schlage keyway. I actually have a ton of room down here. But I'm going to take the flat edge, put them towards the pins at the top, and go all the way in the back. And even though it says 7-pin tumbler, we're going to push all the pins up, and I'm going to pull it really slowly. And unfortunately, I still don't have the microphone calibrated well enough on that camera over there for you to hear it. I'm still working on that, but I can hear them, and I can also feel them, which is something that you can't do on live stream. So I will count them I'll do a silent one, and I'll count them when we pull out. Yep, that was 7 pins. I'm going to go back and count them again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 pins, just like they said. So now I'm going to put the city rake down, and the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put in my... okay, so even though this is a wide keyway, I think they did this sharp bidding because that's what I'm having problems with now. To screw over, yeah, it screws over bottom of the keyway tensioners. Let's try a slightly thinner one, that might work. So we'll try the thinner one here. I'm going to do light tension, and we'll see how this goes with single pin picking. I'm just going to take the standard short hook, and we'll try this here. Already, this is fascinating because the hardest part, and by the way, I'm going to tilt this camera down, and I'm going to actually like sit down just for my back and stuff. So the hardest part, and you get to see the rest of the junk on the couch, with doing these type of locks for the first time, is that, well, first of all, me trying to get this in here, because now the paracentricness is kind of screwing this up. But the real bad part about all this is that I have no idea what tension I'm supposed to be doing here. So I don't know if it needs a really light tension. I don't know if it needs a heavy tension. I didn't hear any pins reset. So what I'm actually going to skip ahead and do, and I might have to take another one out here, we're actually going to use, I'm going to attempt to use top of the keyway to tension this. So that way we have all this room down here. Also, I have better tension control and be tensioning the top part of the shear line. And my whole thing with this is that I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, that's exactly why we count the pins, because it could say, like they do on Chinese locks, that had 7 pin, and the key could have those cuts, but the lock might only have still 5 pins in it, but it did have 7 pins in it. So my hell right now is I have no idea what tension this should be at. Also, it seems like that where it really tries to screw you over is tensioning the back with the paracentricness. It's really hard to scrape in the back. So now I'm just doing super heavy tension and see if anything sticks. Because this might be similar to that gun lock that I have where I still haven't figured out quite yet the exact amount of tension I should do. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's any security pins in this. It doesn't feel like it, although I could be wrong. I actually want to eventually turn the bag partly inside out and see if, I don't think the core is removable, but I do want to look at the back part of it. I do agree with you that I think what they did is that they put in 7 pins and they're like, well, 7 pins, and we did like a high and low bidding, that's enough. I will say the paracentricness of this keyway, it's not a problem in terms of the tension, but it is a problem with trying to get to those back pins. Doubt. And so I'm gonna go through the rest of the picks that I picked out. Also, I realize I do need heavy tension on this, probably because of how heavy the spring load is, to be honest. And depending on the paracentricness in the back, I might actually have to break out the 15,000s and pray that I don't break them. So now we're gonna do the offset hybrid. And then before we get to the Attila, I might actually do there we go. I might actually do the monkey paw first, just for that notch to get better feelings out. This one is even, so I think, again, I could be wrong, but I feel like the paracentricness of the keyway, usually that's designed to throw off like the overall cylinder inside the you try to put picks inside the cylinder in general, and it's also usually there to what do you call it? Prevent bob of the keyway tension wrenches from going in. But what seems like, while the sharp curve does not defeat putting a tension wrench in and doing the front pins, it is causing problems for me trying to snake around and doing proper leverage to set pins in the back. Still needs to organize that shirt we spoke about a few weeks back. The Dow is the Dow. Yeah, no. I will totally I'll probably buy, if you want, because we're still redoing the DCG-1 store. I will totally buy that design off of you just to sell it in the store. That would just be hilarious. So, and I'm gonna try a slightly different tension here, where it's gonna still be hard tension, but not as hard as I've been doing. That's what she said. And get it so where it just rotates. And I'm gonna try going in with the offset. Seems to have a problem with the big head, which, a lot of women have a lot of problems with my big head. And men, too. Just people in general have problems with my big wide head trying to stick it in properly. And of course, the thing sometimes I'm still learning, which is why I have gnarled top the keyway tension wrenches, is the inevitability that one of these slips out and goes flying. So that didn't work. And I forgot to bring my squeeze. I have like a little squeeze toy thing. So that's another issue I have. So I just have to do like general hand exercises here. And again, whether it's bad luck or just my shitty skill level, as like the beginning level of intermediate, this lock might actually defeat me. Um, or I just might be having a shitty day on cam like I did that one time with the Master Lock 15. But I'm gonna go with the notch picked out and see if I can feel anything better. All right, so this seems to be slipping in there better. I can say that. Okay, so nothing was catching. So let me go super hard tension here. Go in. I kind of wish I waited a little bit later for the monkey paw just so I could have the shrink wrapped handles. Because like I do like the art design, the bigger paw, but this here really cuts into your fingers after a while. So that's like the trade-off for the default monkey paw is that on one hand, it's awesome looking and the head design is amazing, but the handle, while wide enough that it's easy to grip, will actually cut into your fingers, so it tires out your fingers more often. So I'm thinking of trading up this one, keeping this one as like a collector's thing with the version now that they have with the shrink wrap handles. And we have an eggplant in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yay. Yeah, no, that's yeah, I've seen experts have that happen too. It's just something you do, and it's also again trying to figure out tension strengths. So I am having what's been happening for me is that I've had so far I have like 3 or 4 pins I believe that are set, but it's like starting from the back, 7th pin is set, and the 5th pin is set. It's like every other pin is set. That's what it kind of feels like to me right now. And then it's probably just doing it wrong or whatever. Felt a little bit of torque right there. This power centricness is actually really getting to me now. So I might actually have to bring out thinner picks and pray that I don't break them in the lock. But before we do that, stand up and let's go back to Bob of the Keyway tensioning and let's see if we can rake these fuckers. Just to see what's going on. Because again, even though it seems like they're low in the front and high in the back, we still might be able to rake this open, even if it's just a fluke. Sometimes, unless I have a bunch of locks in a row, I feel that now most of my show is 2/3 of me talking about the lock and then like only 10 minutes of me actually trying to pick this goddamn thing. And use Bomb the Keyway tensioner. And I should use one. Let's actually go in, pull out the other two, and see if I can get one that will give the most amount of room for the raking, because we obviously don't want to use a top of the keyway, because that will pull the top of the keyway out guaranteed, because just of the way of how raking works and how it's designed. I actually am wondering if maybe I have to tension it the other way and do it like that, essentially. Okay. And let's see if we can even fit this rake in here properly, because we might not. Let's see if we can rake this open. Oh yeah, this thing's definitely green, so it's stiff. Literally the point where I'm thinking of spraying it with Lock Lube. Not to be confused with Lock Noob's porno name. That's why I hold my top of the keyway between my fingers so it doesn't launch. Again, that's why I got gnarled top of the keyway tension wrenches except for the pry bar, because that actually prevents me from it going flying. See, I'm actually glad that I got the smoother worm for now, because I feel like the harder triple the peakness of the triple peak would cause us to get stuck and possibly break the tool. So it is, there are pins that are sticking, but again, I'm still trying to figure out what's the tension I need for this. So I'm going to do a slight one. Rattle a bunch. Okay, so it really does seem like I need to like hard tension this for the most part. I'm doing one that's like slightly there. Using the Mad Bob curve ones, which are a little hard to hold with my fingers for me anyhow. I've actually either wanted to get those or attempt to make those. And I think I might be able to make those. So far, nothing. Although, in a bit, I actually want to see if we can do one where I will rake it and then attempt to single pin pick it, essentially hybrid picking method, meaning that if I raked it properly, most of the pins should set and I only have to move 1 or 3 of them out of the 7 and see if that works. Boy, am I running out of fluids, literally. So, now I'm going to try the city rake, which I don't think will work. But 1, I've been obviously wrong before. And 2, by the way, reminder, this is callous. And 2 is that I usually find more success with city rakes if they're 4 pins or 7 pins or more. Like, because of how many pins this reaches. And let me actually go grab those keys again that I tossed somewhere around here. There we go. Let's see if this lines up in any possible way. Keep getting little bits of sound that sounds dirty. Oh, shoot. Is it like muffling out or something? 4 pins or 7 pins or more. Like, because of how many pins this reaches. I'll keep getting little bits of sound. No, I always make innuendos. It's like the nature of this job. So now what's fascinating from what I can see is it looks like if we do the whole city rake, we might get, it seems like we have a match for the first 2 bids and the last 2 cuts, but the middle part is like way too steep. But if I actually move it back so that we skip the first 2 cuts, the middle 2 cuts line up with the high cuts in the middle. So if I do a motion where I rock all the way and then pull back and rock a bit more, that actually might be able to open this provided I did the tension right and there's no security pins. So we're going to tension this again. We did that hard tension as last time, and let's see if this actually works. First, let's see if we can get this in here without it exploding. Here we go. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm going to die laughing if this actually works. Again, I don't think it's going to work. But I've been wrong before. I did hear a lot of pins set, though, so this sounds promising for that hybrid method I keep talking about. Now, with raking, I could hear a slapping kind of sound with your arm movement. Are you telling me that is a good thing or a bad thing, Dark? Well, yeah, I mean, especially when I put the proper lock lube, which I might in a moment in this, you know, it's kind of like the bedroom where you might want your lock to sound like mac and cheese. Let's put it that way. If anyone gets that reference. So see, I could hear and feel some of the pins setting in here. So this has actually been like the most promising thing so far. But we're still not getting any proper results with this. And by the way, as I mentioned before, the thing about city rakes is that because they're basically kind of like super bootleg bump keys, although in my opinion they're way more effective than bump keys. Most raking, you're like moving in and out with a little bit of a circular motion to rattle the pins. This is a rocking motion up and down sort of thing. Man, ever since I'm watching this on my Nintendo Switch because it has YouTube, and everyone, I'm doing this tonight. Everyone has that Animal Crossing update. Like even if you didn't get the DLC, which I still want to get, the Animal Crossing update is free. So like, I still need to go in. Probably most of my villagers probably have left my villages. I haven't like played in 3 or 4 months just because I've been super busy. Um, like two salmon slapping together. Yes, it's like a walrus flossing. Yes. And honestly, I wonder because I always have this problem. Even though this is new and I just got this, I always have this problem. And we're gonna try the waves next. I'm gonna try the super ingrained wave thing. If I could even fit this in. I don't even know if I can. I don't think I have enough space down here, or if this paracentricness will let me. Yes, fine. Okay, so that got me in there. Ooh. See, now the paracentricness is really, this is what it's throwing off here, doing the zipping thing. Although, now that you mention it, before we move on, and I give my arms a rest, I'm going to pull out my trusty half diamond that I don't have the shrink wrap for on purpose, and we'll try normal zipping with the half diamond, because that will definitely fit in there, and see how it goes. But, what's the one thing? Zipping is, it's like technically a raking technique, as I've showed before. I go all the way in the back with the half diamond, tension it, and then I push up on a pin like halfway and pull back. And sometimes you have to do it like 3 or 5 times, but that will also rile the pins. And it's a great technique to do. And like what we're doing here, when you don't, oh, let me tilt the camera back up, where you have a very low real estate of space, like a bulldog eating custard. Yes, you know she has a name called the Kardashians. Anyhow, let's attention that. Let's see if zipping, if I can A, fit this in here. B, okay, let's put it here normal. If B, let's see if zipping actually works. I'm going to try to strike all 7 pins at the same time. And then I'm going to take a very short break. We're not even going to go to music intermission or anything. And then we're going to try hybrid picking. And then, you know, just for shits and giggles, we'll try the slash proof this on here. We'll try the we might try the waterproof stuff out here and see if that works. I was gonna find my DCG 201 member card here, but I didn't have enough time to go look for it. I'm pretty sure the lag is killing everyone because particularly on YouTube, I know the lag is bad because just because of the nature of the lockpicking show, I always set it to the best screen quality in exchange for the speediness. So it's always a few seconds off, no matter what I do. Crypto barons and stuff, especially when coding, I usually set it to a more low latency mode. But I'm going to continue attempting to zip this, and I might even try to single pin pick with the diamond. Fun fact, even though I'm way more proficient with hooks now, I actually started lock picking with a half diamond. So I'm not one of those like half diamond purists one of these hook purists out there and laugh at the half diamond. Not only do they have their uses, especially in situations like this, but again, I started off as half diamond and moved on to hooks. And I know a lot of people who start off with hooks and now prefer half diamonds. So unlike, I guess, the City Rake versus Bogota thing that we did one episode, this is really like a preference. Yes, I am zipping the zipper lock. Too many Z's. I'm actually going to try single pin picking it with this hard tension because that might actually give me some leeway into me doing it. And then I'm going to really quick zip and then pick it. Zip and pick. Sounds like one of those like Saturday morning cartoons on like Fox Kids or Disney Afternoon or something like that. All right. After that buffoonery, I'm just going to relax my hands a bit. And I'll remind everyone that, first of all, thank you for watching the stream. We're not done yet. I'm going to try a couple of other things, including we can, maybe for shits and giggles, because we're having a good audience here, we can try to test slash, even though I don't have the best knives. G.I. Jack's not here right now, so unfortunately, we don't have all of his crazy knives and chainsaws and machetes anymore. But I can try, in general, how this stacks up to your basic pointy objects. And I also don't have the box cutter. I have to get a new one. And I'll try to pour water on this and see what happens there. But I'm going to quickly step off camera because I'm going to remind everyone, like it says above here, that we are trying to raise a maximum of, and you can go beyond that, but a maximum of $600 for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which is a group of thousands of hospitals across the United States and Canada. Who are, right now, they support pediatric centers and children's hospitals, says in their name. And even before COVID, a lot of these pediatric wings and children's hospitals were underfunded and understaffed and underpaid to do, to help kids with born with physical disabilities, kids suffering ongoing trauma, kids in accidents, kids that are getting sick from a ton of illnesses. And now COVID has not helped with that. So if you want to make a kid's Thanksgiving after making their Halloween and their upcoming winter holiday season, which includes things like Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Bodhi Day, Human Light, Sleep Inside. I'm not saying Festivus because Seinfeld is way overhyped. But if you want to help someone's holiday out, whether it's parent with kids or the kids themselves, you don't have to. If you have $20, $1,000,000, if you're Elon Musk, donate all you want. But if you have $1, $3, $5, every time we've made goal throughout multiple months, it's always been little donations like that go in. And I know it's like being broke. So literally, if you donate $1, I'll be happy. If you donate 20 like Anthony did or more, I'm going to be super ecstatic. Same thing with Benton Harbor and some of our past donators. What was I saying with this? We handle the donations through Tiltify, which means A, we don't touch any of the money. And that means it's a reputable third-party source. They work with charities all the time. That's where your money's going to. And B is that even if we don't make the $600, let's say by the end of November when this fundraiser's over, we make $599 US. All the money that's currently donated and will be donated will go directly to those hospitals. I might even just extend this until December. I just want to meet the 600 goal. We're just going to keep doing this until we reach the 600 goal. Let's put it that way. And so there's multiple different ways to donate. If you're on YouTube or DLive or you're being weird on Twitch, whatever, I just posted the link in chat once again. If you're watching this on a TV and you have a phone, you can scan that QR code. In the right-hand corner, right above the website, defcon201.org and our logo. That will bring you to the page. It is not a QR code hack. We had to test that out ourselves to make sure it wasn't, because Tiltify is weird. And if you're on Twitch, we actually have a little widget box right below the live stream that allows you to click on to directly donate. And so, let's say if one of you guys in chat donates like $1 or $3, I'm going to freak out just like I did with Anthony, who donated 20, or Benton Harbor, who previously donated 40, and thank you on air. And we're going to thank all the donators on air at the end of the charity run. Okay, cool. So far, this thing's pissing me off. And it seems like it's not the 7 pins. It's the combination of the weird way it's snake-like paracentric with the keyway, as well as the pins are low in the front. Their pins are low in the front, but high in the back. That's driving me crazy. So the last technique I'm going to do before we test the slash and possibly water resistance of this is I'm going to attempt to what's called hybrid picking method. I'm actually going to use a pick that I can't use on this because of the paracentricness of this. But hybrid picks are specifically designed for the hybrid picking method. And what they do is in a hybrid pick method, you rake first, which will randomly set all the pins. And if you're really lucky, you'll set all the pins like a normal rake. But even if you don't set all the pins, you're going to set most of those pins. That's the hope. And then you take another tool out, or you flip this hybrid tool over, and you use the single pin picking point of that tool to set the remaining pins. So instead of me trying to go in and guess and single pin all 7 pins, you set the majority of them first, and then have to only deal with 1, 2, maybe even 3 pins afterwards, depending on how many pins are in the lock. Now, this amazing, beautiful Medusa tool based after Lockdude's Boom Slang tool that you can get at Sparrows. And by the way, Sparrows does not sponsor us. I just get a lot of good products from them. They've served me well throughout the years. That won't fit in here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to zip and do our raking techniques. I'm going to sit down again for this one. And well, I'm always look like I'm in a high chair with this, right? Let me put the camera down a little bit lower. Come on, girl, go a little bit lower. That's good. Good girl. And we're going to bottom of the keyway tension this. And again, we're going to rake, zip, and do all those techniques first. And then I'm going to go in with one of the single pin fix, probably either the monkey paw or actually I haven't tried the Attila yet, so we might use that. And we're going to do different raking techniques and different pinning techniques to open. Again, we might not even open this lock today. So I'm going to zip this here. Honestly, okay, my tool got caught. Great. I have to really solve the tension. There we go. Let me actually put this in and then tension it. There we go. It seems like, again, we might be defeated by this tonight. I don't know. We're going to find out. So I'm just going to take my normal short hook and go in. Let's feel if we can. That we set some of the pins in here. Let's see if we can let's see which ones are set and which ones we have to continue to still move up. So pin number 3 is set. I think pin 2 is set. Oh, there we go. Now it's set. Let's look at this first pin here. First pin really doesn't want to set itself. You know what? I'm not going crazy. I actually do feel some counter rotation on that pin. So there might actually be 1 or 2 security pins in this, and we don't know, because this is what I call a blind episode where I haven't even taken a lock out of the packaging, and I go in and try to deal with it so that even if I don't end up opening the lock, you can at least see the methods that I used to try to open this lock. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to stand up for this one. It's like Catholic Church. I'm sitting down, standing up, sitting down, standing up. Is I'm going to, by the way, my hair has gotten a hell of a lot longer if you haven't noticed since the previous episode. I'm going to use the worm rake. I'm going to do a few things. Well, I'm going to worm rake this, and then I'm going to use a combination of the short hook and the Attila and see if we can do anything. And the second time, I'm going to actually lube up the insides with lock lube. Hey, your handcuff is here. Is it a standard? Is it a Smith & Wesson? What type of handcuff is it? Is it a training one? Is it a see-through one? Let me know in chat, Dark Arts. I'm going to triple peak using the worm, rake this as a traditional rake. And then I'm going to go in with the Attila and this hook. And then I'm going to do the same thing if that doesn't open it, but put lube in it first. Proper lube that's designed for locks. And see if that might loosen up something in there. Because especially since of how new this is, and especially its spring-loadedness, it might be an issue with my tools. All right, so we got that going. Go in with the Attila. See if there's anything here. I think that one dropped, unfortunately. Feel something moving. I also wonder if maybe like my problem, besides my own skill level, is probably because of my skill level, that there could be also an issue with just because the spring on this is really heavy. And so I'm actually now starting to wonder if maybe the spring is so heavy that's why I'm having a hard time feeling for things and stuff like that. Kind of similar to the Master Lock 15, which for a while actually stumped me for a little bit. But then I found out that I had to do super hard tension on it in order to manipulate the pins because of how heavy all the mechanisms are. Yep, it's a training cuff. And okay, normal handcuffs are illegal in Australia. Thank you for letting me know. They're not here, but you will be looked at funny. And if you are stopped by the police and you have handcuffs, God have mercy on you. It's funny because I've actually been wanting to get it. It might be the Southward one, but there's a training cuff that you can get where they basically replace one side of it with clear plastic, And the insides, they've dyed different colors so you can truly see all the mechanics of it and keep a mental note. Uh, we're going to do, when I get my handcuff thing, I'm going to do that. But I feel like it's not complete unless I have actual handcuffs. And I don't want to keep borrowing from Night Owl and my mentor. So what I'm thinking of doing is there's some handcuffs where I know where to get, including in packs. And I'm going to get one of those. It's probably going to be one of my most expensive purchases. But, you know, if that's what you do. So let me go back in. I'm going to triple peak rate this again. Go in with the single pin pick. See if we could feel anything. The short hook. So I think, ironically enough, with the rake, that all the pins in the back get set when we rake them. It's the pins in the front that are not doing anything. Don't worry, that was just some doodad. Yeah, it was a doodad. Don't worry, everything's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Just like what the CIA keeps telling us, it's fine. We're all fine. Everything is fucking dandelions over here. Alright, so I'm going to take another short handbrake, and what I'm going to do instead, and this is where I attempt to grab a napkin from over here, is I'm going to lube it up. 3-in-1 lock lube. You can get this at most hardware stores. I got this from Lowe's. Gonna shake it up like we're doing some illegal graffiti here. Remember, graffiti's an art, but vandalism isn't. At least that's what the police PSA say. And we're gonna go lube this guy up. Oh boy, that guy everywhere. That's what she said. Alright, so now that we've gotten lube pretty much everywhere, so I guess that might be part of the liquid test, who knows. I will say right now that the lube is leaving marks on the bag that you might be able to see that look like I've done something else to the bag. It's to the point where I'm definitely going to wipe this bag down with water because it really looks like I did something kind of naughty with this bag. That I think any innuendo I use to describe it will get me banned from all our streaming platforms except maybe Diode Zone for the immediate future. All right, so let me just test. I think, okay, so the lube really got in there. Let's try this again. Rest our hands a little bit. So currently this thing's kicking my ass, but again, one, I'm only at a certain skill level. And two, we have the odd paracentricness, yet not paracentricness of the keyway, as well as, in my theory, how hard the spring is in the spring-loaded mechanism. What we're going to do is I'm going to keep raking and picking it, and then I'll give up, and then we will do a slash test as I post the link again to where you can donate to the Children's Miracle Hospital Network, as you can see above. You can click on that link, scan the QR code, or if you're on Twitch, go to the widget below the stream. And we'll try out the slash method, see how slash resistant it is against pointy things. And, I mean, it stood up well against the lube. That's what she said. But we'll also test the water resistance of it. Now that's all properly lubed up. Let's try that zipping technique first. Again, now that we have, like, should be a little bit easier here. It's already feeling a lot better. Yeah, it already feels a lot better going in here. that one's in there. And that's another incent reward. It's a really cool way. I especially talk about this on Crypto Barons, my other show that will happen again this Saturday, where it's just a cool way to earn like actual non-scammy cryptocurrency for free while I watch the stream, and then you can transfer it to like Bitcoin or Monero, and then from there you can pull it out as fiat. You know, you're not going to end up like Jeff Bezos on here. I don't want any of our live stream watchers to end up like Jeff Bezos. Holy shit! But yeah, that's a whole thing. All right, so I'm going to loosen this again. Put tension. Let's try to use the triple peak worm on this. And I think I'm doing okay with it. Let's try different tensions here. Let's try this one first. I don't think that's going to work. I'm just going to gradually increase the tension on here. I think we're at the high tension. This lube is already making this a lot easier. Although I will experiment. I don't know about that triple peak, but we might actually try the double peak on this thing and see if that even works. Go in with the short hook. See what we can do, see what we can find. I think I've only broken one tool on cam so far. Ah. Whew. Alright, it is getting a little warm in here, even though it's like freezing cold outside. So I'm going to temporarily turn the air conditioner on. Hopefully the noise won't get too much in the way. And I'm going to tilt the camera down and sit down. And the next minute or two, or three, if we can't get this open, then we can't get this open. So I'm actually going to try some of the other, just see if they work, the other two rakes. And if that doesn't work, then we'll do a monkey paw and call it a night and just be like, I give up. Although there is a pattern of me mocking Master Lock products. And then they're like, I actually get their like more high security ones and they kick my ass. But that's on me right there. That's a me thing. So, you know, overall, most people are not confident with, I would say, most of the publicly available Master Lock products up there. But, so just because you can't CB defeat this stuff doesn't mean it's a good product. Although that would mean that it actually is probably at least superficially better than most. That means people below my skill level aren't able to defeat this, most likely, unless it's by fluke. But yeah, it's I still did this episode simply because this is hands down the dumbest name of any Master Lock product in existence. Just remember, this is called the safe space. Go back to the city rake again, because now I'm just curious. Then I think I'll do one more spray, and we'll try and go in with the monkey paw with top the keyway tension. And if that doesn't work, then I give up. So let's give it one more good spray, and then one more good college with college jet try. Oh yeah, that guy everywhere. Let's go at the bottom and shoot up. Oh yeah. Jesus, squirter. Look, I made a whole mess down here. That flew everywhere. I'm definitely wiping her down after this, because dear Lord, she's made a mess. That paracentricness again. So we're going to go back to the pry bar, the gnarled pry bar I have, and you stop the keyway tension. And I might go back in with the Attila, because that seems to be the most effective on this thing. But what I actually am going to do first is try the monkey paw, see if I can get any feeling back here now that everything's lubed up. And the problem with this is more of one, trying to sneak it around this odd paracentricness is especially tricky in the back. But two is 2 is more of this particular tool cuts into my fingers, which is why I abandoned my old tools. They're now in the public tool section after I sanitized them. And I have all these shrink wrapped ones as my actual everyday carry because this is on me. I should have thought better. I was more like, ooh, artwork and the unique head. And if I only waited like a month, I could have got a shrink wrapped version of this, which I think I'm eventually going to end up getting. Yeah, I'm having such a hard time feeling for this that I'm going to try to go back to the, I'm actually going to reset. I'm going to go back to the Attila here. And, oh, I'm sorry, this is the offset. This is the, where did I put it? Where did you go? Ah, this is the Attila. And if not, then we'll just, I'll be defeated, but this will still be the worst named, never mind Match Lock product, but worst named lock product I have ever seen. And we'll do some basic slash proof and mortar testing, even though right now it's holding up well to the actual lock lubrication here. And actually, just for shits and giggles, and I hope I don't break this on here, I'm actually going to grab the medium 15 thousandth of an inch short hook here. Sorry, medium hook, medium short hook. I just made something up. And we're going to go in now. Oh, stop the keyway again. Where did I? Here's the pry bar. Now I'm going to see if A, this is better because it's thinner and I can work around the paracentricness in the back, and 2, if I don't break this in the keyway, because it is a thinner pick. Okay. Up. Okay, so that one snapped in place. You know what? I'm actually kind of making progress with the thinner pick, even though it's really eating into my hands, because unless I shrink wrap these myself, which I might in the near future, they don't come shrink wrapped because of how thin they are, and it does hurt my hands a lot. But I am getting progress with this. So I'm actually going to take, I almost have all my tools out. All that's left is the S-Rake and the Medusa, which will definitely not fit in this keyway. But as our last ditch effort, I'm going to do the top of the keyway tension again. I'm going to go in with my 15 thousandth of an inch short hook. So it's the same short hook as the shrink wrap, but except the 25 thousandths of an inch, or 20 thousandths of an inch, it's 15 thousandths, so it's thinner, the same design. I'm going to go in and see if, because that might work around the paracentricness of this keyway, and we're going to see if we get anything. Because I can snake around this better. I think one of the pins just fell in the back. Oh boy, I think we're going to get defeated by this, unfortunately. So, yeah, arthritis has won. I give up. So, if you are dealing with an idiot like me, I guess this bag prevents this stuff. I can't even speak. I think this bag will prevent an idiot like me from getting in, possibly. Again, 7 pins, odd pinning thing, odd paracentric way. I'm probably going to give this to Night Owl, and he's going to open it in 10 seconds, or I'll look up the product number, and I'll find a Bosnian Bill video about this where it describes it as a piece of junk. Because I did not know, I didn't look up if there are any online videos about this. I knew this type of bags exist. But, this is me just first time tackling it. And my hands hurt. But I am going to keep futzing around and fiddling with this all 2 weeks until the next Master of Unlocking. So who knows? Maybe in a day or 12 by now, I might be able to get this open in my own time and then demo it for you guys here. But this is a treat. If you give me a second, I'm going to get a bowl and a knife. And we're going to test this. This will be funny. All right, are you ready for this? So, I got, and I guess I'll have to wash these afterwards. And this is where if I was monetized, I get demonetized. 3 different types of blades here and a bowl. And I actually have to give me one more moment as you stare at the glorious rainbow gayness of these knives. I'm going to get some water here. Got some nice cup of filter water that hopefully I won't pour everywhere because I'm not pouring the tea that I'm drinking over this. And we're going to test this right now. So while I go through the spiel here, I'm going to start putting all of the equipment back, not only to make more space, but, I'm trying to be a responsible adult and, everyone needs to clean up afterwards. We also do these at the tool meetings as well as the DCG 201 meetings, gatherings where lockpicking happens. But as I put all this stuff away, this is going to be the last moments of the live stream for this episode of Master of Unlocking. So I want to pre-thank everybody who attended and watched this live stream. I very much appreciate this. This actually goes that. You two. There you go. And then you are somewhere down here. Yeah, there we go. Thank you all for watching this episode. I'm pretty sure, my honest to God, my goal was to break through these 7 pins, and we would all have a hearty laugh of, ha ha ha, this is like a shitty Master Lock, shocking Pikachu face. But, just like with the gun lock they made, I'm doing these all blind here, so this may have taken me by surprise. Maybe my skills suck that much. Maybe I'm not using the right tools, the right techniques, or both. Maybe I'm just having a bad camera day. Who knows? But the point of this episode was, one, as I do with all of these, hey, we're going to test this lock live on air, it is for you to see live in real time an actual lock sporter and lock pickers methodology to attacking locks. Because, because I love lock picking lawyer and Retire in Peace, Bosby and Bill and all of them. And there's nothing wrong with other lock sporters videos, but especially because a lot of their stuff's pre-recorded for very obvious reasons, I might add. This thing too much. But because a lot of their videos are pre-recorded, you get this sensation, and some of them lockpicking lawyers are gods, but they just seem to have all the answers, and they have no problems whatsoever. When I guarantee they probably went crazy for a week trying to figure out this lock. And so because you don't normally see this stuff online in real time, I know a lot of people who start out and they get super frustrated, rightfully so, because they basically made this look easier than it actually is. And also a lot of people, when I get people that come to my classes, are always like, I see these techniques and these tools and I bought them and I use them, but nobody tells me the methodology of how to work. What do you do first? Do you single pin pick first? How can you tell them there's many pins? Like, do you start with brakes and then go into picks, or what is hybrid as the last instant reward pops up? The last instant reward pops up. What's going on? So the reason why half of these Master of Unlocking live streams are me tackling locks live is so that you can see how I've in the past, when I encounter a doorknob or a padlock or someone gives me a lock that they want me to pick, you have to get into where like the kittens are starving and stuff like that. A lock, and I need to attack it in order to show something or achieve something. What I actually do, even if the lock ultimately stumps me, God, my hair's bad, in order to achieve hopefully a result. And sometimes it doesn't work. We all have bad days and stuff. Trail says, I'm working on impressioning a lock at the moment. If it works, I'll be my first successful. Well, I hope it does work out for you. Congratulations. There's actually going to be a future episode where I'm going to, I think you meant impressioning a key, where we're actually going to take a key blank and file it by hand, not the machine. Hand filing, doing a lot of this motion, a lot of this live on the show. Someone's going to meme that. So that's going to be something coming up. I don't know if it's going to happen in December, but that will be happening. Key blanks from scratch. That sounds like a political slogan. Key blanks from scratch. Key blanks from scratch. Screw key me. Key blanks from scratch. So, because we're going to get the lock open, because I'm an idiot, let's do the liquid test. But before we get there, let's do the slashing test. So what I have here is I have a duller, pointier knife. Should have put knives in the description. And then I have another kitchen knife that is a lot more sharper and a lot more pointier. And then I have this one here, which has like a saw blade, essentially, for it. And I'm going to probably have to end up washing these later because these are actual cutlery tools. So I'm going to try to go for like here. Actually, we should try doing the back. So I'm not going to do the window because, I think that's kind of an easy vector. I just want to do general poking and slashing. So I'll do one down here, and then I'll do one here, and then I'll try to do one on the edge here and see what happens. So this is the duller knife. So this does not cut at all, no matter how much I put down. If I stab it, okay, so that did leave some pokes, but I can't tell if it goes all the way through. So that did poke through. So I'm actually not going to poke here because these other ones, except for the saw one, will definitely go through. Let's try this guy. Okay, I heard a crunch there. I think this one's going through. If it's not going through, it's at least bending. So it's nothing slashing's cutting through, but the point on this. So don't do pointy things on this guy. And then finally, let's do a saw-like blade and see what happens. So just like with the other slashing, nothing's going through. Let's just do the saw blade here. Oh, it sliced through down here. Now, here's the thing about this. I can tell by the stitching, and you can actually see it here. Even though we made a slash mark in here, if you look where the slash is, it's still covered in this like nylon substance. And while I might be able to stab poke through this, it's not like we're in the inside of the bag. So I will say this has like lowish, weak, it has slashing proof at the nylon. Does not have it with the plastic. It's with saw-like equipment. I'm pretty sure if you had a sharp enough blade, you might be able to do a slashing. This is sharper than this one. This didn't slash. Poking, I think, definitely goes through if you try hard enough. So now let's do the last one for funsies. I have like a cooking plate bowl, and I have this. And we're going to do it actually on the see the locks down here, on the non-side like this. And we're just going to pour liquid on it. And we're going to see if it doesn't soak through on the non-slashy side, okay? Okay, it's definitely getting wet. It's definitely wet. And I'm going to put this out here, take it out in running order. We're going to take the keys, We're going to unlock the zipper, and we're going to feel inside the bag. Remember, this is a key retaining. Until I put this down, it doesn't take it out. We're going to open this. Let's see. Nope, it is dry. It's dry on the inside. I'm actually going to pour a little bit on the slashed area and see if anything happened. See if we got a compromise. Hold on. Nope, it is dry. Everything is dry in here. Okay, so final analysis of this product. Put this back up. Actually, let's take our perfectly dry and safe Master Lock 140. It actually did a good job today of protecting one of its younger brothers. So let's switch back from the switch back to the full face cam here as I push the final link in this. So, this product, 7-pin cylinder. Do not know if there's any security pins, although I doubt it. Does have an odd bitting, high in the front. It seems like it's low in the front, high in the back, or vice versa. I think it's low in the front, high in the back. And the paracentricness of the keyway allows some tools in, but not all of them, and it particularly eats up all the back part of if you put the tool in for the back 3 pins. It's tricky depending what tool you have. It is waterproof. It is dry on the inside, even when we pour it on the parts that we pricked on the back. It is okay slash proof. I didn't have a knife sharp enough that with a slashing motion it would do it. For a smooth blade, but for a actual jagged saw blade, ate through the plastic, did not eat through the nylon. It seems a lot weaker when being stabbed even by the dull blade. So if it comes to a point, you might be able to stab through this bag, and the sturdier your handle and steel and sharper, more fine the point, the more likely you're able to get through this bag. So I don't think it's really well stab proof. I'm not going to go full ham because I do want to in the future, even though I know this might not be secure for someone like Nell. I do want to carry some of my practice locks in here, and I think this is a nice, convenient way of carrying like a smaller version of my kit when I go out to parties and stuff. But that's it of reviewing this product. So thank you, everyone, for watching Master of Unlocking. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Thank you, Anthony, for donating the $20, which has already put us as $100. So we still have $500 to our goal, but the goal's not really the point. Even though I would love to reach our goal, the goal is to raise money for sick kids all the way to the end of November, if not December. We're just trying to raise money for sick and disabled kids all across the United States and Canada for the Children's Miracle, we're part of the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Even if we're not streaming, the link I just posted in chat, if you're in the chat, you can donate there. In the future videos, I will actually put our donation link in the descriptions. I forgot to do it this time, but I will be able to do it next time in terms of YouTube and PeerTube. And I'm going to start backing things up on PeerTube because we're trying to correct our PeerTube. Our next Master of Unlocking, if my brain memory works, will be on the 21st. I don't know what we're doing. Worst comes to worst, that pro line I was talking about, we'll try to tackle those. And some of those pro locks are repinnable, so I might also be doing some repinning stuff if we tackle that. If not, we won't know. 2 weeks from now, especially after our meeting, I will post that. So the next Master of Unlocking will happen 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always, on the 21st. That is 2 days, barely 2 days, barely a day even, after, after our meeting, which should be on November 19th, the third Friday of the month. I'm hoping next week we will solidify, because if you know people want to speak virtually for our stuff, or if they live locally in New Jersey or New York, please let me know. because I'm still putting together what we're going to be doing, and some of the stuff that I already have and thought of is going to be awesome. And yes, we will actually live stream the hybrid meeting this time. See, last time we couldn't physically make it, so we had to stream it. And then last time we had it physically. The people who showed up were fun, but we weren't able to live stream everything because we made a boo-boo. A really stupid boo-boo I'm probably going to bring up at the meeting. But no, next time, if you're physically in person, we'll see you there at Subculture in Jersey, New Jersey. If you can't make it, or if you live around the world, like Dark Arts stuff is, not all of it, but parts of it, some of the talks and activities you will see online. There will be probably 1 or 2 exclusive things for that meeting, though, just to put that out there. So anyhow, that's Master of Unlocking. If you also want to catch me at my other show, that'll be this Saturday. I forget the number. I think the 13th. Early Escape Friday the 13th. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what exact topic I'm going to do because there's been like 5 major pieces of news in cryptocurrency and NFTs, so I'm going to have to choose something in a day or 3, but look out for that. And we might be doing a special live stream that I'm putting together. That's not Metroid Dread, even though I had so much fun doing that. Who knows? But anyhow, hope you learned a bunch. Thank you for watching our show. Again, you can donate via the link I put in the chat, the QR code in the video description when it's later uploaded, or the Tiltify widget at the bottom of the Twitch. Speaking of which, if you are on Twitch, we're going to be rating another person's stream right now, so stay tuned. I'm going to send you to either something really cool, whether it's cool music, a cool hack, a cool maker thing, something just bizarre and fucking weird, maybe something topical just happened. You're going to find out in a moment, so stay tuned. And if you're on YouTube, you get to watch this video later. If you're on DLive, see me on Crypto Barons on Saturday, where I will give out lemons in cryptocurrency. So thank you for your time again for watching Master of Unlocking. I hope to see you at our next meeting on the 19th. Hope to see you at the next Master of Unlocking on the 21st. Hope to see you on my show, Crypto Barons, this Saturday. And I just hope that I'm seeing you, and I hope you're okay and that you're safe out there. That's it for our show. Again, if you're on Twitch, stay tuned for the person we're going to raid. And thank you, Anthony, for donating the $20 for this episode. We still have a long ways to go, but every dollar counts, and all the money that we raise, even if we don't reach goals, are going to help sick kids across the United States anyhow. Hack the planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember, where did I throw the box? Master Lock called this their safe space. The Master Lock, I don't care up to 7 pins, security pins defeated me. They called it the safe space. Okay? They might as well call this the Master Lock Backpack Dance. How you do, fellow kids? Master Lock Safe Space. Worst name ever. Thank you. Enjoy the outro music. Stay safe out there. Say hi to the person we raid.
Mrs. Spencer and the children found in the basement families. The medical examiner estimates they were dead for at least 3 days. The air conditioning system in the house was turned on, apparently to slow the decomposition of the body. It's all dead. The entire house, top to bottom, car, the office downtown, all of the white plane. No. But I'll tell you one thing. He made one hell of a big mistake when he decided to clean house on my... house on my decided to clean house on my farm.